Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Leanna and today we're talking about what sold in March. I'm going to give you an overview about how the month went for me on Posh Canada and Posh US, and I'm going to take you through a few of the sales just to give you an idea of what brands and what items were selling really well for me during that month. I will say that so far this year, March has been my best month. February was my worst. It was horrible. It looked like things were really looking up. It's been my best month this year, if not one of my best months ever. So I was really, really pleased with the performance of both Posh Canada and Posh US. In fact, it was so good that we were this close to beating our eBay sales, which it's always a little thing of pride with me. Paul and I play a little game, not intentionally or anything. It's fun. And we were this close. I think between the two Poshmarks, we sold more number of items, but eBay beat us on the actual dollar amount of sales. But we were close, so it was really cool. And it's really nice that if eBay's down a little bit, if Poshmark pushes up, so we maintain a sort of general sales amount, which is nice. Okay, so we're going to take you through a few of the sales. Posh US first, then Posh Canada, and at the end I am going to talk a little bit about the Macari changes, just as a point of interest. Alright, so first things first, Posh US, I sold this Cole Haan leather bag. It was a beautiful tote bag. This was a bins pickup, so I paid very little for it, maybe $2, $3, and I sold it for $43. And yes, of course, if you're new to the channel, I am Canadian, so my cost of goods is all in Canadian funds. And if I'm talking about Posh US, the sales amount are in US funds, and it does make a difference. So 43 US is really good for that bag. I was really, really happy with that. The next item, it was this vintage gold gym tank top muscle shirt. I think it was from the 80s, I believe. It sold for $40. This has been sitting in my death pile for, I want to say, years. I think I actually purchased that. Did I probably, before we even moved? That Gold's Gym tank top?
Oh, I don't remember.
Paul doesn't remember. But I'm pretty sure it's been in the death pile for years, and I don't know why it was never listed. I think it got hidden away when we moved, so it sold for $40. So I'm really, really happy with that. The next one I want to show you is that little lantern lamp, the Lamborghini, that was in a haul a couple months ago. It was a Value Village haul where we went for Seniors Day, got 30% off. So the cost of that was $4.85. So I sold it for $30 US. So I was happy with that. That was something I picked up for style, thinking, oh, that's really cool. And I did some comp searches at the store, so it really worked out well. The next one is this Harley bathing suit. It's a Harley Davidson bathing suit, Harley Davidson branded. It sold for $50. I'm not sure if this was in a recent haul video, because I really don't remember off the top of my head where I bought it. I went through my notes and couldn't find it in the haul sort of notes. But if I did, I think I paid about $10 for it. But I think actually I got it at my favorite Goodwill. Now that I'm thinking of it, I'm looking at Paul. He won't know because he wasn't there. I'm pretty sure I got it at my favorite Goodwill, but I do believe it was at least $10 to $13 that I paid for it. So $50 US. So that was really good. The last one I'm going to talk about is this Zara Beach Coverup. This was part of my retail arbitrage little trip that we did a couple months ago. I believe I paid $5 for this here, and it sold for $43 on Posh US. Except for, actually, none of these were listed very long. None of these were listed more than, I'm going to say 2 months at the most. So that's really good. It's good to know that those brands were really selling. Now, the Cole Haan bag, it helps that it's Cole Haan. That's a really good brand. But the style, it was a really nice big tote bag, and I think that helped a lot. And the other things, some of it's brand, some of it's just the style. So I'm really glad they sold fast. So the next ones we're going to talk about is Posh Canada. I'm going to give you a few of those as well. So the first one is that Hell Bunny dress that I picked up just a couple weeks ago for $9.79 at my favorite Goodwill. It sold for $40. That was listed like a week. Done. So that's a really good brand if you can get it cheap enough that you can make it fairly fast flip of it, which is good. The next one are the Lamoda chunky shoes, which I think were in a haul as well. Those I got at Value Village. I believe I paid for about the $10 mark, and they sold for $60. And these are in Canadian, so they're all sort of even Steven. So, $10 to $12 into $60 in sales amount, not in earnings. Not bad. And again, they sold fast as well. The next one is the vintage caftan. It sold for $50. I picked this up at a Value Village, 30% off. For Senior's Day, I paid $6.15 for it. I loved this. I was going to keep it for myself, and I'm really glad I didn't. It did take a couple of months to sell that, but again, none of these items were in online or on listed, I'll be okay, for very long, and I was really happy. The next one is Cloud Veil. This is a merino wool blend under or base layer long sleeve. That sold for $30. I picked this up at my favorite Goodwill for $3.29. And again, not very long listed, 2 months maybe. The last one I want to talk about is the brand Simply. It is a Canadian brand. I'll be okay. Very slinky type materials that they use. This was a beautiful tunic. This was in my personal closet, and I decided I would sell it. It sold for $48. So cost of goods with a personal item, it's kind of zero, but it's also kind of, okay, where did I get that? And I know that I wore it a lot for a while, and it's been sitting in my closet and I haven't reached for it. So I sold it for $48. I was really, really happy about that. Okay, so a couple more sales I want to talk about. For some reason, I had big bundles go out this month, which was really, I was really thankful for that. A couple of 2 pieces, a couple of 3 pieces. I do want to talk about, I had one 5-piece bundle go out for $140. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that. They loved it. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I posted about a bundle that somebody was making, and she had only offered me a certain amount of money, but I wanted just that little bit more, and I asked you, what would you do? Well, in that bundle, what happened was, the original bundle, she had the Hell Bunny dress in that bundle, but then the bunny dress sold, so it went out of the bundle. So she removed it, and, that cancels the offer. So it's like, okay, what's she going to do? And we hadn't really been talking or anything, and she ended up adding, I think the original bundle was 9 or 10 items, something like that. So she ended up purchasing a 17 piece bundle for $300. And most of what she bought, was older listings from me. There was a couple of new ones. I've off the top of my head at this moment, because if you can hear me, you know that I'm not feeling 100%, but some of them a couple were newer, but most of them were older listings. So I was like, yes, take it. And I did have to add in a heavier weight label because it did become more. But here in Canada, our heaviest weight label only cost, I think, $5 for the biggest label you can get, which is amazing. But even at $300 on Posh US, if I had to pay the $22.50, it would have probably been worth it as well. So I'm really glad I didn't decline that offer. I wasn't planning on declining it. I was wondering whether I should counter it or not. But she came back and she just bought more, and I took her offer, and it worked out great. She was so happy, and I was happy as well. I do want to share one eBay sale because it is my sale. I sold this little wooden lady. I can't pronounce the name. It is a Quebec artist. If you find some of this Quebec wooden stuff, I've sold a lamp in the same style. It can sell for really good money, and if you can get it, lower cost of goods, it could be worth your while selling it. This sold on eBay for $25 US, and it is actually going back to Quebec, so it was really kind of cool. So that's how March went. Not too bad at all. I'm happy about that. I want to keep up the consistency of listing and relisting this month, and hopefully that will bode well for the future sales, right? So I want to touch base really quickly on the Macari stuff that's going on. I feel that whenever a platform brings in a big change, and this is a huge change for Macari. I don't sell on Macari. As a Canadian, it's very hard for us to access it, I believe, and it's not something that we've actually looked into. But whenever a platform changes something major, like, oh, okay, sellers, you're not going to have any fees, we're going to put it all on the buyers, there's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be a dip in sales until people get used to it. So I don't think it's a bad change necessarily. I think it's one of those things that you gotta think about. Don't panic. Don't decide that you're just going to shut everything away. You will have to maybe consider your prices differently, because now that you're no longer paying fees, the buyers are paying them. So, their $25 order now will be $50, as opposed to before where that $25 order might have only been $35 or something. So you have to keep that in mind when you're pricing, because if you sell something for $25, you're getting $25. So my sort of advice, for lack of a better word, is don't panic. Play with your pricing, figure it out, and realize that your buyers are paying more, so your sales may be going down right now until they get used to it. That's about it. Anyway, that is it for today. Today is a shorter video. I am not well. This is why it's also late this week. I am working as hard as I can, but I also need to rest. I can't hear out of this ear. It's gone. So it's been a weird week. So anyway, that is it for today. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. I should be back Friday, and I'll see you guys then. Bye.